Welcome to Event 5 of the 2008 World Championship of Online Poker. This is the biggest concentration of poker talent ever assembled as they compete in this high-stakes no-limit hold'em tournament. 321 players, each paying $10,000 to enter. That's a prize pool of over $3.2 million and a bumper payday of $617,000 for the winner. I'm David Tuckman, and you are about to see the best of the action. Cards up on the WCOOP Highlight Show, here on PokerStars.tv. Take a look at our final table. We've got some big names with genuine championship pedigree. In seat number 1, we have Glenn Shorney, who last April took down the EPT Grand Final in Monte Carlo and won $2 million. If you want to see how this guy plays, check out his bust-up with Antonio Esfandari on PokerStars.tv. Seat number 2, we have GP Mantis. Seat number 3, Oral Hershiser. Yes, that Oral Hershiser, of course, the Hall of Fame pitcher. In seat number 4, we have number 1, Penn, who was the runner-up in event number 3, the Limit Hold'em event. Seat number 5, we all know him, it's Chris Moneymaker. Of course, the 2003 World Series of Poker champion. Jay Cardshark in seat number 6, that's Jonathan Little. Seat number 7, we have Doran Vandy, well-respected internet player. In seat number 8, we have Greg Hobson, a.k.a. Duck U. He's an expectant dad coming in October. And, of course, Purple Euros in seat number 9. Very well-respected internet player. And without further ado, let's pass it on to Nick Welthall to take you through the action.
Thanks, David. Amazing final table, of course, and you'd expect that with the buy-in, but we really have seen the cream rise to the top. And these players have beaten out some amazing competition as well. Players like Pearl Jammer, Exclusive, No Mercy, among others who cashed in this tournament. And interesting hand here with Jonathan Little showing his muscle, making the move with a 9-5.
Yeah, well, Jonathan Little, obviously a very aggressive player, and I've spoken with other players about his style. And, of course, Chrissy Moneymaker was talking about what a disadvantage it was that he was playing to his left. You know, it was very tough, obviously, with Little behind him.
Absolutely. Well, Doran Vandy is the big chip leader, and it is a commanding chip lead to take into a final table.
Yeah, it really is. Obviously, a no-limit hold'em, anything can change. One hand can move it all around.
Well, we'll see if that happens. We'll join the action in hand 19. And we can see Doran Vandy with that chip lead, raising under the gun with the 2 black 7s. Round to Oral Hershiser with the ace-queen. All 3 options available to him, David.
Yeah, really, obviously, ace-queen offsuit. Nothing wrong with folding that hand. It's one of those hands where you can easily be dominated ace-queen offsuit. In position, though, a little bit passive, but obviously with 9 players, not a terrible move. Pocket queens, though, of course, much easier to make a move with that one.
Standard re-raise, and Doran Vandy gives up the 7s. 1 for Chris Moneymaker, and that'll bolster his chip position. We'll move you on to hand 22, and Oral ready to throw in a curveball with his aces. I just wanted to say curveball. I was so excited to say curveball. 45,000, he makes it to go. And Jonathan Little behind with the 6s. Perhaps getting the odds to call. 600,000 in Oral's stack. So he's getting about, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 to 1 on his money. Well,
you figure exactly. You're going to flop that set, you know, 1 out of 7.5, 1 out of 8 times. If he flops the set, maybe he can break Oral Hershiser.
Oh, well, there you go. There is the set. Magical 6 on the flop for Jonathan Little, and trouble for Oral Hershiser. Of course, Jonathan, such an aggressive player, makes it even harder for Oral to get away from these aces.
Yeah, it is a draw-heavy board, and that 3rd diamond on the turn is actually going to hurt Oral Hershiser because now he thinks, well, he certainly can't throw it away because he has the ace of diamonds in his hand.
Well, he's checked it. Wouldn't be surprised or blame him if he check-raised all in here. Just check calls, so maybe he'll dodge the bullet. And the board pairs, so any doubts Jonathan Little had about his hand being good, probably didn't have too many anyway, but they're assuaged by that 8. And makes the over bet, or more or less pot-size bet. It's going to be all of Oral's chips. Tough call for him, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is a tough call, obviously. Not much that Jay Cardshark, or a.k.a. Jonathan Little, would bet there that Oral can beat. I mean, Oral's only got one hand, but Jonathan Little's a very aggressive player, and as a result, Oral Hershiser calls and is broke.
Yeah, all of his chips going in that pot. You can understand it because Jonathan Little, Jay Cardshark, very aggressive player and perhaps could be bluffing. Marginal call, Oral makes it, and unfortunately leaves us in 9th place. But a great showing by the Hall of Fame pitcher.
Yeah, it really is. Obviously, you got to give Jay Cardshark some credit there for building a pot and getting all of Oral's chips.
Hand 27 now. 8 players remain at this star-studded final table. Doran Vandy, our chip leader, finds Ace-King under the gun, raises it up to 50,000. And Purple Euros with Ace-Queen offsuit, facing under the gun raise, makes the all-in move up to 500,000 chips. I think he's going to get himself called here, David.
Yeah, I would imagine so. You know, you talked about it earlier with Oral Hirschars with the Ace-Queen offsuit. You've got really 3 decisions with Ace-Queen offsuit. You're going to move all in, you're going to fold it, or you're going to call. You know, nothing really wrong. I mean, Purple Euros, he was a little bit short, and unfortunately for him, he's going to find himself in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he's going to need to hit one of the queens in the deck. Well, that's going to be the end of his tournament. 1,000,000 chips make their way to Doran Vandy and bolster that chip lead. Purple Euros is going to be our 8th place finisher. Purple Euros taking home $75,000 for his trouble. 7 players remain in this $10,000 WCOOP event number 5. And number 1 Penn this time, raising from the cutoff with Ace-10 offsuit. Makes it 48,500 to go. And the re-raise from J Cardshark. I wonder what number 1 Penn makes of this. And he folds. J Cardshark forcing him to put down the best hand.
Yeah, it's a great play by J Cardshark. I mean, he doesn't respect the cutoff raise. And then as a result, also, in the small blind, he is a big stack, and he uses that power to push number 1 Penn off of his hand.
Glenn Chorney now raises under the gun with 8-6 offsuit. And we'll see the call in position. Creative play here from J Cardshark with King-7 suited, but with the button. And gets a nice flop for his hand with the King-High flush draw. Glenn Chorney's going to lead out at this with middle pair, continue the action, and he's going to get the power play put on him by J Cardshark. Jonathan Little taking one down. Standard once that flop came out, I guess, Dave. Yeah,
it really is standard, especially with his stack. One thing that Jonathan Little likes to do, and we saw this, I mean, Chris Moneymaker talked about it, Jonathan Little likes to play a lot of hands, he likes to play in position, and if he's got a big stack, he's going to use it.
Yeah, we're seeing our big stacks play aggressively, aren't we? And that continues with Doran Vandy opening under the gun here. Folded round to J Cardshark in the big blind, and he does call. So again, as you said, Jonathan Little, J Cardshark seeing flops, and wow, an action flop. Could see some fireworks here. 5-4 suited for Doran Vandy, Ace-5 offsuit for J Cardshark.
Now that's of course pre-flop. Now that we've seen the flop, though, obviously 5-4 way ahead. Now it is a draw-heavy board. And you wonder how these players will approach it.
Well, if Doran Vandy raises here, he may get action from J Cardshark just because it's a draw-heavy board, and there are so many draws he could be doing this with, or perhaps even bluffs.
Well, Queen of Diamonds on the turn changes nothing. It's really interesting there. J Cardshark bets right out, gets the raise from Doran Vandy. He's going to play his 5-4 fast. And this pot is quickly ballooning up to 1.5 million chips almost.
Well, J Cardshark, we know, is way behind. We can see the cards, of course, on this exclusive coverage, but he doesn't know that. He knows Doran Vandy's an aggressive player and could be pushing a draw. Unlikely to get this paid, though.
Well, now that's a huge bet there on the river. You know, normally you wouldn't think you can get called by hand worse than 2 pair.
Trying to make it look like a busted draw, I guess.
I think that's exactly what he's doing, and look at that, he gets
called. Does get the call, wow. Well, you called it. Doran Vandy played that hand fast, and J Cardshark, Jonathan Little, didn't believe him through the whole hand. Obviously, thought his Ace-5 was good. We're going to watch a replay of that hand, David, because it is one of the most sensational hands of the WCOOP so far, one that people are going to talk about.
Yeah, really. I mean, Doran Vandy raises under the gun, suggesting a big hand, maybe a big pocket pair, or something like Ace-King. You know, J Cardshark in there with the Ace-5 offsuit. But the thing that really interests me is that he has the Ace of Clubs. So my question is, what is he putting Doran Vandy on? I mean, obviously he puts him on some sort of draw, but he's got the Ace of Clubs in his hand, so what draw is he putting him on?
Right. Now, the flop plays out in quite a standard way in that obviously Doran Vandy can be raising with a worse hand than you know, top pair with an ace kicker, and also Jonathan Little, J Cardshark can improve. So that's all fine. But then when the queen comes and he has the Ace of Clubs in his hand, like you said, what is he putting him on? By the end of the hand, he's kind of putting him on specifically, I don't know,
King, Jack of Clubs or
King,
something.
Jack of Clubs, right?
Exactly. Well, it's clear that